All right. Hey, how's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. All right. In this video, what we're going to do is complete a challenge we had after learning ES6 syntax. The challenge was to take our old rock, paper, scissors game that we built and refactor it using ES6 syntax. Okay. So here's my code right here. Um, and this is the old version right here. So you see scissors original, and you see here we have the function keyword with the name rock paper scissors. Have my variables and arrays here. You see my if statements, if else. So player one is equal to player two. Console. This message here says same play again, and then we use set timeout to do recursion. So it'll start the game back up. Else, and then I have a switch statement here, which will take game hands as its expression and match it up with each one of these cases to see which one fits. And depending on the game hands, that determines the winner. And then console the winner. So if I come here and I say rock, paper, scissors and run it, you can see rock, scissors, rock beats scissors, player one wins. And I can refresh and scissors beats paper, paper beats rock, rock, paper. Let me see if I can get a tie real quick before I go on. There we go. There's a tie. And so you see there's recursion, and it waits 2 seconds and then it returns a new game hands, if you will. All right, so that is the game. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to refactor this using ES6 syntax. Okay, so I'm just going to comment this out. Comment that out separately, and then comment out rock, paper, scissors right here. And say refactored version. Okay. So we're going to go to refactored version. And this is, one wave. And, if I want to build it again, which we may do, just build it again. Okay. So let's start with this. What we're going to do first, I'm going to say const. I'm going to use the const keyword, rock, paper, scissors. So const rock, paper, scissors. Arrow function. So there's my arrow. It's now ready to do some stuff. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is here for winner and hands, instead of the var keyword there, I'm going to change those up. So I'm going to say let winner keyword right there, and that's going to get rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I got shoot. Okay, so there I'm using let, and for hands right here, I want this to remain an array, and I'm not going to change this array at all. So I'm going to say const hands is going to get rock, paper, and scissors. Cool beans. All right. And what I'm going to do, because I know how to do this now that we've used it, is for my players, what I'm going to do is I'm going to store this in an object. So I'm going to say const hands well, I'm not const hand. I'm gonna say const players. I'm gonna make this an object. So I'm gonna say player one, and player one is gonna be hands math.floor math.random times hands.length. Yep. And I'm just going to copy this. Paste that right there and just change this to player two. So now I got my players stored in an object, and that's kind of, that is what I would rather do with this, handle it this way. That's just what I like to do. And you know what? I wonder, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say here, const game hands. I'm going to set that to be this is going to be a backtick right here, $, curly brace, and I'm going to say players.player one dash, and then open curly brace again, $, curly brace, players.player two. So this is going to return, or should return the game hands. So I'm gonna test it out real quick. You know, as I'm working this out, I don't want to just go and just write down. I don't want to go and write a whole bunch of code without having tested it at certain points. So once I got it here, I got to a good place where it's like, hey, let me test this and see how this works so far. Okay. So I'm going to say console.log game hands just to make sure that it's working. Okay. And now I can start rock, paper, scissors up. And there I get rock, paper, paper, scissors, scissors, rock, rock, rock. Okay, so it's working. Cool. I see this working now. Again, I use that console.log just to test it to make sure that it's working. Okay, so now I know that works. Let me comment that out. But I do want to make sure that I'm consoling. I'm going to have this out here, console.log winner. That's going to be out there. So right now, it should just say rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Cool. All right. But I'll go back. I'll be going back and testing it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is for this if else statement that's really long. What I do with that is I'm going to create two different functions. Okay. I'm going to create a function that's going to handle the tie game, and then I'm going to create a function that's going to handle the winner. Okay. So I'm going to put that right here. So what I'm going to do is, again, write a function inside of the function rock, paper, scissors. And when you have a function that contains another function, those are referred to as high-level functions. And I know that sounds like such a powerful thing, a high-level function. It's just a function that contains another function. That's all that it is. So how are we going to handle tie game? So I'm going to make a function called tie game. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a tie message. So I'm going to say const tie message is going to get player one, and then show That's going to be dot player1, and then player2, and then same thing, players dot player2, and then I'll say same, then play again. All right, I got that. And what I'll do is I'll console.log time message. And then what I'll do is I'll do my set timeout here. So say set timeout. And rock, paper, scissors. And then 2000. So here, so with set timeout, what we have here is this weird thing, which is a callback function, but it's a special kind. It's called an anonymous function. And it's called anonymous function because it doesn't have a name. So I didn't say function, or function by the name. It didn't do stuff. And we like to do this here. Now, some people may want to say, hey, let me comment this out right here. Some people might want to say set timeout. And because the first parameter is a function, they might want to put rock, paper, scissors right there. And then the second argument is the time interval. And it would do stuff, but that's not exactly what we want to do, because rock, paper, scissors is not a callback function per se. Okay, so what we rather do is just send an anonymous function that will run rock, paper, scissors. We'd rather do it like this because you may get something weird to happen if you write it like so. So I would stay away from that. I would just run a callback function, anonymous callback function that will return the function rock, paper, scissors. Okay. So there's my tie game function. It will excuse me, console the message and then run set timeout. Okay. And yeah, the other reason why we want to do this, I would assume, is because we have a return right here. So I'm guessing that's probably another reason why I want to do it. I'm not too deep and too studied in set timeout. I know how it works. I know how to do it. And I know some things about it, but not everything. Okay. So anyways, there we go. There's tie game. I got that function completed. And now I want my function get winner. And as always, pause the video at any time if you need to, so that you can catch up with what I got. All right. So I'm going to call this const get winner. Get winner is going to take a string as an argument. And this is where I'm going to handle my my switch statements. Okay. So I'm going to say here switch and then pass in the string as the expression. Okay. And then I'm going to be lazy. So let me copy all that stuff right there, because I did do it, and paste. All right. And so there goes my cases. So you can see there, rock, paper, then the winner, paper beats rock. All that stays the same. I kept that there like so. Okay, cool. That works. And so now I have my logic here to handle tie game. I have my logic here to get a winner. Okay, so the way this is going to work is depending on what game hands is. If game hands is the same thing, then obviously what we're going to do, we're going to run tie game, and I don't need to pass in anything here. It's just going to run tie game if player 1 and player 2 are the same thing. Okay. However, if player 1 and player 2 are different, then we're going to run get winner, and I'm going to need to know what game hands is in order to pass it through this switch case. So make sure I'm outside of my get winner function. Yeah, so here, this is the end of get winner right there. Yep. So now what I can do is I can run a ternary right here. So I don't need to do this. I didn't have to do that if player 1, player 2, they do all this stuff. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say, excuse me, players dot player 1 is it equal to players dot player 2? If so, run the tie game function. Else, run the get winner function and pass in game hands as the argument. And then console.log winner. And there we go. Let's come here now. Scissors beats paper. Player 2 wins. That's not right. Oh, I probably want a console game hands as well. So let me add that here and get winner. I'm going to console. Yeah, so I'll do is I'll say console.log again player 1, and that'll be players.player 1. Put a dash there and say player 2, players.player 2. So now let's see what we got here. Okay, so that's better. So player 1 scissors, player 2 paper, scissors beats paper. Player 2 shouldn't win. Player 1 should win. So what I mess up? Scissors, paper. Oh, there it is right there. That's player 1 wins. Aha. Okay, cool. Paper, rock. Paper beats rock. Player 1 wins. We got a tie. There it is. Rock, paper. Paper beats rock. Player 2 wins. Cool. Scissors, rock. Rock beats scissors. Player 2 wins. Okay, cool. So there's the refactored version of rock, paper, scissors. You see, it's not too complicated. Didn't have to go wild with it. You can see I added an object. Excuse me. Let me put a comment right here. Added an object to store players in. Okay, I just wanted to do that. Kind of group them together. And I could put game hands in there as well. That would be weird. I don't know how this works. Let me see if I can do that. If I say game hands and pass this in right here. I probably don't want to say players. I probably want to say this dot player one and this dot player two. And let me comment this out right here and say, where am I using game hands? If I said players dot game hands, refresh, and it works, still works. Oh, I get an issue here. Scissors rock, and I get an error. Oh, so what would be my error then? Scissors and rock. I don't know why I got error. Rock paper scissors shoot. Player one. Yeah, for some reason winner didn't change. I don't know what I did right there. I don't know what happened. This is me just playing around. Okay, if player rock paper, then I get an error, and it's got to be something with. It's got to be something with game hands. So let me come back up here. Console.log this dot game hands. There it is right there. Getting undefined. Okay, yeah, so that wouldn't work. And even if I said players dot, that probably will still come back undefined. Yeah, and I cannot access players before initialization. Yep. So, oh well. Can't do that. Trying something out. So let me bring that baby back right there. Let me delete you. That's why we're getting an error. And change this back to game hands. And we have a working game. All right, cool. So as you can see, it is okay to test things out. It's okay if something, doesn't work, right? It's quite all right. You can, test stuff out, test your limits. That is a way that you learn. Like, I don't learn simply by getting it right all the time, right? I also learn by making mistakes, okay, and seeing what I can do, understand the limitations, not of myself, but of the programming logic and the actual syntax and what you can do. So, yeah, rock, paper, scissors, refactored. And I think I know what to do with the next video. I'll surprise you. But I will see you on the other side of it. Comment, like, share, extras, whoever that is, commented, is this live or recorded? It is live. We live in full effect, baby. Yeah. But no, yeah, this is live and it'll be accessible. So yes, please, like I said, like, comment, share, post, hug it, squeeze it, take it out for dinner one night so that I can get paid. All right, I'll see you on the other side of this video.